Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a powerful idea, a concept that challenges everything about how we view success, strength, and life itself. Have you ever felt like life is just happening to you, as if you have no real control over the course of events? Or have you ever thought that your strength, your true power, lies not just in physical toughness, but in how you choose to face life's challenges? Let's talk about it. Are you the master of your life, or are you letting the world control you? True strength doesn't come from sheer muscle. It's about your mind, your will to rise above fear, doubt, and mediocrity. It's about shaping your destiny and creating the life you truly want. Today, we're going to explore how you can break free from the chains of passivity and embrace the power of transformation. When we talk about mastery over our own lives, one of the first distinctions we must recognize is between individuality and conformity. Masters of their lives are individuals. They are driven by an internal compass, one that tells them who they are and what they stand for. They don't need validation from others because they've already defined what's good, what's true, and what's worthy in their own lives. They create their own values. Contrast this with those who live in the shadow of conformity. These are people who don't question the norms around them. They follow the rules set by society, fitting in because they fear standing out. In doing so, they suppress their individuality, missing out on the opportunity to create, innovate, and ultimately thrive. Mastery over your life begins with defining what you truly stand for. Stop letting the world tell you what success looks like. Define success for yourself. It's like this. Imagine you're someone who has a passion for art, but society pushes you into a career in law because it's seen as the respectable choice. If you allow society to dictate your path, you might spend your life doing something you hate, wondering what could have been. Instead, by embracing your true self, you carve out a path aligned with your values, passions, and goals. To live this way, become aware of your personal values. Take the time to write them down. What are your core beliefs? What do you want to achieve? Create a plan based on these values and watch as your life begins to transform. Self-overcoming is one of the most crucial elements of mastering your own life. It's the idea that you are not your limitations. You have the power to transform, to go beyond what you thought was possible, and to become a greater version of yourself. Mastery begins when you start actively challenging yourself, pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone, and not allowing external circumstances to define who you are. The truth is, life is never easy. Every path, every success requires effort and overcoming obstacles. But those who master their lives see these challenges not as setbacks, but as opportunities to grow. Think about the artist who starts with nothing but an idea. At first, they are like a camel bearing the weight of their learning, practicing the fundamentals of their craft, even when it feels tedious. But as they push through, they begin to embrace their identity as an artist, breaking free from the constraints of convention. This phase is like the lion, confident and assertive, ready to stake a claim in their own artistic vision. But the journey doesn't stop there. As the artist continues to push their boundaries, they enter the final phase, the child. At this stage, they are no longer burdened by the past. Instead, they embrace pure creativity, inventing new styles and techniques that surprise even themselves. Mastery, then, is a journey of transformation. It's not about staying static or being content with what you already know. It's about self-overcoming, pushing yourself beyond where you were yesterday to become something new, something better. Now, let's talk about pride. The pride of someone who knows their worth and stands tall, confident in their abilities. This isn't about arrogance or boasting. It's about having respect for yourself and your capabilities. When you are truly in control of your life, you can stand proud in your accomplishments. You understand that pride comes from what you've built, not from looking down on others or comparing yourself to them. Your pride is rooted in your own strength and growth. But there's a flip side to this: victimhood. This is the mentality that says, I can't succeed because of this, that, or the other. It's the mindset that blames external factors like bad luck, circumstances, or other people for your struggles. We all know someone who falls into the victim mentality. They face a setback, and instead of looking for solutions, they dwell on the misfortune, focusing on how unfair the world is. This mindset keeps them stuck. It stops growth and keeps them in a cycle of negativity and resentment. The key to escaping this trap is to shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. Take responsibility for your life. When something goes wrong, don't look for someone to blame. Ask yourself, what can I do to change this? Shift your focus from the obstacles to the solutions. If you want to master your life, you need to embrace your creative energy. Creativity isn't just about art or innovation. It's the energy that drives you to solve problems, to improve your life, and to build something meaningful. Mastery is about creating your future. It's not about just reacting to circumstances. It's about taking the initiative, thinking outside the box, and leaving your mark on the world. This creative energy is something that fuels progress, both for you as an individual and for the culture you live in. On the other hand, those trapped in victimhood often direct their energy toward resentment. Instead of creating something new, they tear down others. They focus on criticizing the successful, justifying their own failures, or comparing their struggles to those who are achieving their goals. This is where the difference between master morality and slave morality becomes clear. The master creates, the slave resents. So, how can you start to use your creative energy? Look around you. What problems are people facing? Think about how you can contribute to solutions, not just complain about the issues. If you have a problem, don't just focus on why it's hard. Think about how you can make it better. Focus on solving problems and innovating rather than just criticizing. Finally, let's talk about how you approach life itself. How do you view challenges, setbacks, and failures? Do you see them as obstacles, or do you see them as opportunities for growth? One of the key qualities of someone who masters their life is the ability to affirm life, to love it, all of it, the highs, the lows, the pain, and the joy. This is the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. It's the idea that instead of rejecting the struggles life throws at you, you embrace them. You understand that every experience, even the hardships, is part of your journey and contributes to your growth. Think about a professional athlete. They don't just embrace the victories, they also embrace the training, the setbacks, the failures. They know that every moment is essential to their journey, and that without the struggle, there's no victory. In contrast, those who live with a victim mentality often see suffering as something to escape, something to avoid. They may even romanticize it, believing that suffering is somehow virtuous or that it will be rewarded later. But the true master doesn't see suffering as something to avoid. They see it as part of the natural rhythm of life. Instead of fearing it, they embrace it, knowing that the struggle is where growth happens. So, how can you embrace your fate? When challenges come, don't ask why me. Ask, what can I learn from this? Create a plan to overcome your struggles, break them down into manageable steps, and use every obstacle as a chance to grow.